I'm going to do now is I'm going to tap on normal because I'm going to create a new normal task. And you'll see what happens is the screen changes. It says name, so I can come in here and I can say pick up Jackson at groomer. Jackson's my little dog. So now I have pick up Jackson at groomer. I can save this particular task. As soon as I save the task, it brings up my edit task screen. So now if I need to, I can enter a note. And one note that I always need to enter when I pick up Jackson is to be sure to bring the leash. Once I've entered my note, I'm going to tap on done, and it's going to return me to my edit task screen again. I can assign a due date at this point by tapping due date. I can choose any date that I want within the month. I can change the months if I want by clicking or tapping on the arrows. I can come down here and say I want to use today's date, tomorrow, next week, or I can eliminate the date from this particular task. So let's say that I'm going to take Jackson, that I have to pick Jackson up today. So I'm going to go ahead and say today's date. What time do I need to pick him up? Well, let's say I need to pick him up at 3 o'clock. So I'm going to say 3 o'clock p.m. and I'm going to save that. So you'll now see I have a due date of today. I have a due time of 3 p.m. This particular task does not need to be repeated because obviously when I take him in, it's not always the same day, but let me just show you how that repeat feature works. I can repeat from the due date, or I can repeat from the completion date. This is a really powerful feature, I believe, because what it allows me to do is for something that tends to repeat on a regular basis, I can either repeat it from when it was due, or I can complete it from when it actually got done, and that's a big distinction. Oftentimes there will be things that I need to do that I don't quite get done. You'll see my overdue list here. There are things that should have been done yesterday that haven't quite gotten done yet. So in that particular case, I could say from the due date, or I could say from the completion date. The other thing I can do is I can come here and I can repeat the frequency. The nice thing about the Appigo To app is that it allows me pretty much complete customization in terms of the repeatability features. Then what I can do is I can identify this as a priority, either high, medium, low, or the default. So I can say this is a low priority or a medium priority just simply by tapping the words. I can also assign this to a list. So we'll talk about lists in just a second. I can assign this to my home list because it's really not a work-related topic. So I'm going to go ahead and assign that to my home list, and you'll see that now over here I have the color that's associated with my home in this little circle. It's just a way of categorizing your information visually so that quickly you can sort of get a sense. Now if you have a whole bunch of categories, sometimes the color gets lost in that, but at least what we've got is some general visual cues that we can use. I'm not going to talk about context or tags because that'll just take too long, but I will talk about the alert. You can set an alert, which is essentially a reminder, and what you can do is just tap on the alert and choose any interval that you want. The other thing that you can do with this that's very important is you can choose other, which basically lets you sort of customize it. You can choose pretty much any day that you want to be alerted and any specific time that you'd like to be alerted. I'm going to go ahead and go back to Edit Task. You'll see that this is a normal task because that's what I assigned it to be. I can actually go back in and change the task type if I choose to. So let's say that I decided, you know what, I really want this to be a checklist, or I really want to make this a visit a location. I could very easily go in and change the type of task that has been identified. You can also email this task to someone or to yourself. You can add it to a notebook if you'd like, and you can move the task from one area to another. Also, I can delete the task. I'm going to go ahead and leave this task here. In order to save the task, all I'm going to do is tap off of the Edit Task screen, and I now have Pick Up Jackson at Groomer here set for today at 3 p.m. And that's a basic normal task.